Hi, I'd like to thank everybody for taking time out of their day to come down and talk to all of us and get questions answered. It's really cool that you guys did that. Also, my question would be for the director, what tools and things did you use, and even for the cast, to make the movie more like the book, since the book is so intense? What did you use, and what were your ideas and inspirations for getting the movie to be like the book?
Having Stephanie Meyer there.
True.
That was part of it, and I have to say Kristen was a great, she knows these books so well. She is the biggest fan of these books that you'll ever meet, So it was, I tell you, I think we both come, we had a pretty long process for us where we rehearsed, we talked through, for a week we just sat around and just talked through the script, talked through everything. There are things that were put back based on things that people had missed, and especially you, And then we blocked the scenes and put it on its feet. But then on the day of shooting, we both had spent that night before looking at it again, and just sort of like making sure we were capturing, especially, the books are told from Bella's point of view, So it's like that thing of getting inside her head, except for the part that's from Jacob's point of view, for the first time only in Breaking Dawn. But it was like, I think we were like, that was our mission kind of, right?
Yeah, no, just to know it inside and out, because ultimately you should be able to sort of let moments live. If you're thinking about 1 second about a scene that is supposed to just sort of fly by naturally, and it's making you nervous to the point where you're like, rehearsing for weeks and looking at it the night before, and all of that building up, it's hard to forget that, and he makes it pretty easy, as do all these folks. But it's pretty important to go over it, I think.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
It's a lot of pressure, because there's some great stuff going on down in Brazil, it's really interesting to see just moments, tidbits, from Jacob's point of view and what he's dealing with. Like I said, he matures so much, so it's really interesting to see how he handles situations at the beginning of the film and how he handles them at the end. Do you have anything else to say about?
Also, to step out of Bella's point of view at that point in the movie is really quite perfect, because she is very withdrawn from everyone in the whole story, and you kind of don't really know what's going on with her, which I think is good. She's sort of, like I said, like sitting in the corner, just being like, everyone away, and I'm not even going to explain myself to you. And so it's cool not to really know exactly what's going on with her, because then you wonder how Edward is feeling about everything, and because they're at odds for the first time, and you don't think they're going to like break up or anything, but they're definitely at odds. And
yeah. Thank you. Love you too.
Hi, my question is for Nikki, but anyone else can answer. Now that filming is over, what will you miss most about being on set and working together, and how do you plan on staying in touch?
It's funny that that's just to me. It should be for everyone.
We should have everyone answer it. Why don't you start though, Nikki?
Sorry, it's got awkward. I guess I'll miss. We had some really special moments, actually. That's like the most genuine answer. All of us, individually, we've had some really good moments together, and I think I'll miss that feeling of like, being a part of the community, and feeling like when you're away. I mean, I've done some other movies, and it can be a very lonely experience, but one thing I've realized with this series is that no matter who's dealing with what issue or where, there's always someone to be with. And in terms of keeping in touch, I don't know what the future holds for all of us. I would love to say it's going to be like a fairy tale ending and we'll all have dinners once a week. Probably not gonna, but there's definitely a love there and things that have happened that will live on forever, and some of us will stay in touch and some probably won't, but it's been a really great thing, I think, for all of us to create these kinds of friendships. Yeah.
Ashley, Ashley, when we go to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think Nikki pretty much summed it up. It's definitely. Thanks. Yeah, we've kind of all in a sense become a family, and it was nice being able to personally and as an actor learn and grow with these people, and to have someone to relate to, and to have someone who's going through the same circumstances that you are, and just to be able to show up on set every day and just kind of not really necessarily feel like it's work, but you just kind of go and you hang out and you see the same people that you've been working with for years, and that was kind of comfortable and really nice. And I think for the next 2 years we should be okay, because we're going to have premieres and conventions and stuff like that. But I think eventually there will come a point that it'll probably be a very sad thing to kind of have this all come to an end.
Elizabeth?
I think I'll miss the weird normalcy of getting up at 4 in the morning every day. And I know it sounds crazy because I was probably, not loving it in the moment, but I do love that experience of going to set and, going to Crafty and getting the rice crackers and the jalapeno jack cheese. And, but more than that, I think, because I know I'm going to see these actors a gazillion times, I'm going to miss Gene Black. We had this amazing makeup artist. I'm going to miss Bill Condon and Guillermo, the DP, who made me laugh constantly. We got to work with such amazing people. And I think that what you realize as you go along in this business more and more and more is that you don't get to have these kinds of experiences all the time. They are so rare. And when you work with a great director, you are so lucky. So I will miss that experience.
I think a lot of what I'm going to miss is sort of the simplicity of being away from home with a group of people that wind up sustaining you in some way, in many, many different ways. And you just spend so much time with each other that you get really close, and there's not that much outside world stuff coming in. And that was just something very peaceful. It sounds very ironic saying it now, but I really appreciated that. It made me appreciate the people that were there and that we got to work with. And I think the way you keep in touch is you just try to prioritize it and, be accountable and stay in LA.
God, these things, when there's loads of people on the line, it becomes impossible to answer the question.
So that they're awesome.
Every significant point. What?
Everyone's pretty cool, this and that, whatever.
Yeah. Everyone's really cool, had a really great time, and eventually they come to a point where I say, no more. That's it. After the last premiere, that is it.
All right, how about we get between you question here?
I just want to say congratulations to everybody on your success. And this is kind of for the panel. So what's your favorite of all the sagas? Which movie is your favorite?
Breaking Dawn.
Part 1 or 2?
Part 1.
What's it going to be next year?
Part 2.
That's funny.
This saga is like any saga, or this saga?
This side.
I'll be completely honest. I don't know what I'm about ready to say. The third book I loved, but this movie is my favorite. It's a testament to Bill and everybody else. Everybody on this panel right now. We had an incredible time, and I think it's just that this movie, you're able to see all of the characters in a different light that you've really never seen before. We're all in desperate situations, and we're dealing with things that we never have before. I think that's why it's my favorite. And it was a challenge, but we had a lot of fun, and this one, Breaking Dawn Part 1, is definitely my favorite movie by far.
Throughout this whole process, my favorite book was always New Moon, but I think movie-wise, I really like Twilight a lot. I think Catherine did a very special, weird, particular job on that really sort of made it different from the rest of them. And I think I like this one. I just saw this. It's after all this time and getting to know the characters and everything like that, and just knowing everything that's happened with them and seeing them at points in life that are nostalgic for anyone. Seeing them at weddings and seeing them dealing with Bella being pregnant and just all of those obvious things. It's weird. I almost feel, probably because I'm incredibly and overtly connected to it, but I am so goddamn nostalgic. Sorry, very little tiny ones in the audience. I'm sorry. Anyway, so I like that aspect of it a lot.
We'll jump to a new question.
This is for Taylor. Does your character relate to your real personality in any way?
I would hope so. I don't know if I would be the best judge of that, but I don't know. I love Jacob. I mean, he has amazing qualities. He's loyal. He's persistent. I think he's an incredible guy. So I would be honored if the people around me would say that I was similar to Jacob.
I'm getting the wrap up, so we have a couple more questions here.
Hi, folks. Welcome to America's finest city. So my question is for Ashley Green. I realized how imperative history on the siblings are to the series. I mean, you saw Jasper's background that tied in a lot of loose ends, as well as Rosalie's. What about Alice? Are we going to hear about James and the insane asylum? I mean, I think that's really fascinating, and I really hope to see it.
The one thing that I think I can kind of rest assured on is that most of the fans are quite amazing and probably know more about Alice than I do. And so a lot of people kind of know her background already, even though it didn't end up in the films. So I'm okay with that. Oh,
Hello, everyone. I absolutely love the Twilight Saga audiobooks, especially Breaking Dawn. And I wanted to know if any of you will do voiceover acting.
I would love to do voiceover acting. Because you can wear sweatpants.
It's true.
One more quick question.
I think everyone probably would, right? I would love to as well.
Yeah.
Hey, I was wondering. If any of you guys need to be pumped up for these emotional, roles in this movie. So, do any of you guys use music or walk around with your iPod or anything? Pump you up.
Pump it up. Yeah, I definitely use music. I have a perfect story for you, actually. On set, on the day we shot the ceremony, there's a song that I thought was perfect and gets me every time. Not only in relation to this, not in everything. God, this is embarrassing. I don't even know why I'm saying. And it'd be great if it was in the movie because they're on the New Moon soundtrack, I think.
Yeah.
Band of Horses, this song for Annabelle is actually should be in the movie, period. But that was really one of the most moving experiences. And he played it really loud and helped me out. And it's fun to do that. Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, before we call it quits here, first of all, let's thank everybody for coming. And on your way in today, I believe you all received one half of a ticket. So the other half of the ticket is right here. And our surprise guests are going to pull tickets from this bowl. And whoever has the matching number will win an exclusive meet and greet with them for you and one guest as they walk the red carpet at the Summit Entertainment party tonight.